أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى والدين الحق ليظهره على الدين الكله ولو كره الكافرون ولو كره المشركون أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. Thank you Professor Madya Azmi Hassan as a very cool moderator for this session. I remember his face very sangat murah dengan senyuman dan menyebabkan saya sendiri berasa sangat comfortable pada hari ini. Chairman of DMDI, who's like a father to me, Tan Sri Muhammad Ali Muhammad Rustam, please give a round of applause. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Muhammad Ismail Abdul Aziz, Deputy Vice Chancellor HIMA of UTM KL. Mr Amer Bukvic, CEO of Bosnia Bank International. Tan Sri Rastam Mat Isa, Chairman of ISIS, and fellow youth. First and foremost, I would like to thank the organizer for having me as one of the panelists to discuss on trends on Southeastern Europe. Mr. Amer just now have discussed very thoroughly about Bosnia and also Tan Sri Rastam. But as to begin, I believe it is best to introduce the Malaysian Youth Council, or MBM, as we are the umbrella organization which embodied 38 national level youth organizations. MBM represents 13.8 million Malaysian youth in advising the government on matters related to young people in Malaysia. As I stand here today, as the President of Malaysian Youth Council, I'd like to emphasize on youth development standpoint, on the challenges and the opportunities that deem important for us to highlight in this platform. I trust the issue to develop young people will never get old and is applicable to any region in this world. The first key challenge I want to address here is education. It covers awareness, curriculum and models, training and practice, and also the impact on socio-economic and productivity of a country. The United Nations has dedicated on developing and advocating on the post-2015 Sustainable Development Plan that will replace the Millennium Development Goals. It is proven through one of the ongoing advocate programs under UN Secretary General is the Global Education on First initiative that begins in September 2012. According to the Education for All Global Monitoring Report published by UNESCO, and I quote, "The international community has yet to recognize the full potential of education as a catalyst for development." By saying that, it is not merely education per se that we are talking about. It is about quality of education. It is about technology enhancement for water and energy resources, equality and empowerment, social inclusion, and health well-being. In Malaysia, we have launched and implemented our National Education Blueprint for 2013 up to this year that focuses on the holistic quality education in order to rise up in accordance with the international education standards and to suggest several operation shifts, or in short, the educational reforms or revamp strategy. It underlines the 6 key attributes needed by every student to be globally competitive, whereas the following: student who has knowledge, who has thinking skills, leadership skills, bilingual proficiency, ethics and spirituality, and national identity. In my brief study on the Southeastern Europe, I believe Southeastern Europe has its own regional platform for cooperation in the field of education and training that is called the Education Reform Initiative for Southeastern Europe. I understand the initiative support national reform in education and training for education development quite similar to the National Education Blueprint in Malaysia. The second point that I would like to emphasize is in terms of youth unemployment, which is the challenges that both our region faces. Referring to the International Labour Organization, the world is facing a worsening youth employment crisis. Young people are 3 times more likely to be unemployed than adults, and almost 73 million youth worldwide are looking for jobs. By 2019, more than 212 million people will be out of work, up from the current 201 million. The 2013 data shows unemployment rate hovering at around 22 to 23% for Southeastern Europe, compared to the year 2011. Average youth unemployment in the region is twice higher than overall unemployment. Female and low-educated people are also at higher risk of being unemployed. Hence, we need to stress on the new emerging labor market, which requires people with the new competency, new creativity, and the ability to adapt to change, and that technical and vocational education training can play a crucial role in preparing people for employment. To highlight, Malaysian Youth Council, through One Youth, One Skill Secretariat, led by Saudara Rizan Hassan at the back. Please give him a round of applause. Please stand, Mr. Rizan. Yeah. Has designed to cater the left-out youth to be involved in skill training programs, and the youth will perceive higher potential to be employed besides Magic and Skills Malaysia. The third challenge for us would be the information and network in this area. Information is the capital and asset for those who owns it. This could be both challenges and opportunities for us. Information could be people. Information could be resources, ideas, and government initiatives. However, the challenge is to connect to the right people. Recently, through an article published in The Economist, it accentuates the importance of networking and connecting, and what it takes to be a networker. The most noteworthy quote that was said by one of World Economic Forum veteran is, "Contact ultimately means contract." Perhaps we have to confront the test to connect and build relationship in order for us to maximize and use the full potential of our limited resources. Let me draw you an example. For instance, some countries in Southeastern Europe are experiencing brain drain, where there was an estimation of nearly 150,000 young educated people have left Macedonia in the last 20 years to look for a decent career. We in Malaysia are facing the same situation, and we even published Malaysia Economic Monitor Brain Drain in April 2011 to recognize the issue. We suggest revamp on the education system, rising productivity-linked wages, and propose a few talent management policies. One of the key agencies to curb brain drain in our country is our very own Talent Corporation. I would like to highlight the Prime Minister of Malaysia's speech that called on the importance of international hyperconnectivity and building strong relationships with other countries. Thus, we here in MGBM has commenced the initiative to strengthen regional youth movement Iklan sekejap. Hence, we in MBM has commenced the initiative to strengthen regional youth movement through the connection that we have built among ASEAN countries through long-term relationships and Committee of ASEAN Youth Cooperation CAYC. Consequently, I would like to suggest it is best for us to connect and learn from each other. Though we may differ in geographic, demographical, and cultural background, it is our role to connect people with their ideas and resources for the common better livelihood goals. The mega trends of digital technologies, global borderless world, and depleted natural resources will impact on our political and economical condition. One must not forget that these two settings are depending on how we prepare our youth to confront today and tomorrow. I always like to point out the challenges in developing and empowering youth. It comes in terms of social policy that supports it, the political power to make it work, and the financial capabilities to run it. One of the main criteria that close to my heart is youth movement. You can have youth movement in the form of small groups of young talented individuals or strong competence and togetherness in youth association. What binds them is their passion. Passion to provide better nation for them, and passion to create a better future generation. Supply chain of leadership will be one of the vital challenges in youth movement. Where do we get to train our youth? Which arena would be suitable for us? What kind of young leaders that we want to produce? These are among the questions that we in NBM have always asked and look for the best solution. NBM create leadership and volunteerism programs that may held annually. We went by zones to make sure we have penetrated to the level of grassroots youth movers. It is agreeable, the most effective training is hands-on experience and informal training. Let them do it. Let the youth do it. Let them handle the task and event for them to learn the values and for them to weigh their action. The Ministry of Youth and Sports has also created numbers of programs to train young leaders of the nation. Through my corps, it aims to promote and train volunteer leaders and may provide a pool of talent that is also occupied with volunteerism spirit. Before I conclude my presentation, I think I have to say this because the moderator asked me. As the moderator mentioned about ISIS just now, just to inform the audience, not more than 30 people, basically youth between the age of 15 and 40, Malaysian has been involved directly in ISIS movement. It is an illegal movement and really targeted a young people to join them as their recruitment. And I think for me, those who joined them, they just followed blindly. The young people, the youth, have to understand the concept of jihad. The Islamic tradition should be understood clearly so that we can follow the real teaching of Islam, where Islam is teaching us to be good, to be kind to each other. In conclusion, sustainable peace and development in the region cannot be based on political settlement and economic consideration alone. The empowerment of youth to become active and participating members of their societies is a prerequisite for the peaceful development of the region. I understand from Mr Amer Bukvic that Bosnia also has 3 major ethnic, which is similar to Malaysia. We need to learn. We need to learn from what has happened in Bosnia. In establishing conducive environment to ensure social stability and peace, it is imperative to embrace the element of mutual respect. The main rule is to find similarities and things that we may have in common, that may bind us together. It may come in a form of silence, and sometimes it is best for us not to bring up sensitive issues like religion, belief, races, and such. We may educate others when needed, and still by doing that, we have to make sure the method of conveying that message will not offend others. We would like to call on the act of moderation or wasatiyah. With this moderation, I believe that we will be able to strengthen the bond among our youth of both regions. We have been advocating and calling for international communities to take part and realize the act of moderation. We have our hands and doors open for future collaboration on youth development programs and initiatives, like I mentioned earlier, with the common better goals. I hope this discussion could be one of many beginnings to enlighten our bright young talents on the role of global citizenship that would care about not only the place of sovereignty he called his nation, but also to be aware of what has been happening globally. With that, I settle with a quote by Khalil Gibran: "A little knowledge that acts is worth infinitely more than much knowledge that is idle." Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Thank you.